Good evening, everyone. My name's Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Thursday, September the 12th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary video brought to you by wallstreettrading.com. If you have not been to the website yet, go check it out. There's a lot of free educational information on the site for you guys. At the same time, if you're interested in joining our prop firm or taking our education course, you can contact me at ccooper at wallstreettrading.com for more details. Aside from that, let's go ahead and get into the video here, starting off with the indices. The Dow closed down close to 26 points here. The Nasdaq closed down 9 points, and the S&P 500 closed down close to 6 points. If we take a look at the breadth today, breadth was in favor of the bears, or for the bears. We had 4,240 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the AMEX. We had 1,950 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the AMEX. Therefore, breadth was a little over 2 to 1, close to a 3 to 1 there in favor of the bears. So let's go ahead and break down the chart, starting off with the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF here. You can see that we closed down 45 cents. We had a little slight gap down, and we started pretty much chopping around a bit today. Then we rolled over. If you guys don't know, today was a contract rollover on the S&P 500 E-minis. Therefore, the action was a little bit slow, I guess you could say. Then we had some selling pressure come in around 10:45. I believe there was some news that came out regarding the whole Russian-Syria issue that caused the market to sell off a bit. But then, in general, they bought the markets right back up, and everything, you know, we didn't get too much damage. But if you take a look at the underlying action on the markets, we did see some fall through in the financials, which they were weak yesterday. They had some more fall through to the downside today. As the markets were up yesterday, they were kind of lagging, and now you can see why. Because JP Morgan was down close to 1.92%, and we're going to go through these stocks here shortly. Let me just finish going over the indexes here, starting off with the SPY again, down 45 cents. We still remain above that key 168 level. That 168 level is key because we were holding it as support over here. Then we gapped down, so now it's resistance. We got back above it, and now it should act as support. If we break below 168, then we still have this level right here around 167.43. The longer we hold above 168 and trade sideways, the better that momentum we should have for a potential move back up towards the highs and for a breakout. We'll see how that plays out. Tomorrow, again, is going to be a big day. We have four key economic data reports coming out here. We have PPI, Producer Price Index. We have retail sales around 8:30. Both of those reports come out around 8:30. Then we have consumer sentiment at 9:55. Business inventories at 10 o'clock. So we have four market moving reports coming out. So make sure you're on your P's and Q's tomorrow, and make sure you get the right levels to watch tomorrow. And if you need help finding the right levels, well, you can come into our chat room, mywallstreettv.com. I usually give out the market levels to watch before the market opens, so you have the levels right there, and we give them out on the ES, and that's been working pretty well for us there. So you want to make sure you go check it out, our chat room, mywallstreettv.com. If you want to get access to that, just type in your email address and type in the password SMART. All right, so the SPY again looks like it's going to consolidate a bit up here. We do have some market moving news coming out tomorrow, so that's pretty sure. That's definitely going to move the markets in one direction pretty big, in my opinion. I think we should have a nice little range day tomorrow. The ES, though, you can see we're holding above that key 1680 area. Right, that key 1681 area comes from this little neckline that we have before we broke down this little head and shoulders little mini pattern right here. As long as we can hold above 1680, that's going to be your above and below level to work off of. Above 1680 bullish, below 1680 bearish, and if we break over 1690 and hold, we could be looking for a move back up towards 1695, 1700. Be on the lookout for those levels in the S&P 500 futures here. All right, taking a look at the Qs, the Nasdaq 100 ETF, holding in there steady. You can see we're trading above and closing above this 77.25 area. Prior resistance, now support. We're holding above that pretty well. So the longer we hold above 77 and a quarter, and we trade sideways up here, the more likelier chance we have of moving higher and making new highs, which is just right there. All right, we made a new high on Tuesday, well, a new 52-week high on Tuesday on the triple Qs around 78.32. If we could break over 78.32, we should be making our way towards 78.50 and 79. Taking a look at the IWM, the Russell 2000 was down 77 cents today. We have a nice little downward bullish channel break on the Russell 2000 in our big upward channel that we have there. Usually how this trade plays out, we rally up, we get extended from the breakout, which happened right here at 102. Some pullback action, and then we got to look for that higher pivot low. That either forms from an official retest of the trend line, higher pivot low from this low right here, or these lows, or if it's real strong, the market will come back here, put a higher pivot low in front of the trend line for the official back test, and then make it move higher. That's how you trade a downward break of a trend line or a downward break of a channel. So we'll be on the lookout for that. So tomorrow could be a day where the market sells off and then they buy the low of the day, and we make some possible type of reversal candlestick, and then that's going to set us up to go up next week. We'll see. But we do have a nice little trend line break right here, so the momentum still to the top side. We're just a bit extended right here from the original candle break high around this 103 area. We hit 105 pretty fast there. All right, taking a look at the volatility index, we can see where it's at today. The VIX still holding above that key 1350 level. Same thing for the VIX. We're going to be watching the VIX to see if it starts to hold above this little range that it had right here. If it starts to hold above 1353, then we could expect, okay, we're going to start seeing some, some more nice ranges on the indices, or some more nice ranges in these stocks as volatility is going to pick up, as this could potentially be a higher pivot low from these lows that were made back here. Again, it's too early to tell, but something shaping up here in the markets, whether we break out for move higher, or we get some pullback action from all this uncertainty that's going on overseas. But again, we'll be on the lookout for that. Just want to be on top of your A game here. Taking a look at gold. Gold got hit today pretty hard. It was down close to 3%. You can see we're back below this key 130 level on the GLD, with the next pivot support being down here around 124. You take a look at the GC, the gold futures contract. You can see this one is back below that key 1350 level, with the next level support being back down here around the pivot around 12. Okay, around 1275 from this level right here. That's going to be a key reference level to watch, and most likely that's the next short-term target for anybody that's short the market from a break of this 1350 area, as we're pretty much breaking back inside this little price channel that we had right here. So this could be like a nice little air pocket move down if gold continues to get some selling pressure. If you take a look at the currency action though, the euro dollar, all right, looking like it wants to go back over this 134 level. So we're keeping an eye on this euro dollar to gauge these commodities, and that's looking pretty bullish right there. If you ask me, for a break of 134, looks like it wants to go back there and retest that area. And if you take a look at the dollar's just been all over the place here, but I still think this little broadening formation is going to play out, and dollars could make its way back down here. And we'll see how that relates to the different asset classes in the market. So that's why we watch these currencies. Taking a look at crude oil. Crude oil was only the only commodity that actually held a nice little bid today. Right, you can see it's treading the moving averages here. Nice sideways consolidation. As long as it can get back above 109 and start holding a nice bid, we should see a break over these little pivot highs and a move back up towards this 112 as the trend is to the top side there. All right, and we have this nice little kind of triangle that's trying to form right here. But again, this uncertainty in the overseas market, that could be another catalyst for crude to really go back and make a high and break above this 112 level and start kicking its way up towards 115, which is the main level to watch going forward as the next resistance target. What else? So that's really about it. I'm not going to go through all the different commodities or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some key stock names though. Apple, after getting smashed down yesterday and trading sideways, it had a nice little pop up today. Could see if Apple can get some gap fill action and make it a move towards make a move up towards this 485 level, 486. That would be resistance. Verizon had some bullish action on it today. I'm not sure if this was news related, which I believe it was with Vodafone. I think it was a sympathy play, but either way, Verizon was up over 1.5% today. Pretty strong stock today. Looks pretty good. Keeping on watch to see if it gets any fall through tomorrow. Walgreens, this was a big breakout stock today here. You can see this thing just took out this 51.38 and broke out. This was news related. Okay, then you have, let's see, Sprint. Looks like I had a good day today. You have Sprint, nice little downward trend line, little narrow channel that it's breaking above. If this thing can hold above this pivot right here around 632, look for Sprint to start making its way back up towards the 720 level. All right, just going through a couple of names here. Disney, they announced a buyback program throughout 2014. That caused a nice little buying pressure in the stock. This thing popped up pretty nice and then faded down pretty nice at the end of the day. keep an eye on this one as well, as this one's not too far from making new all-time highs again, as it made new all-time highs back here in May of this year. The financials, definitely got to keep an eye on the financials. They have been holding the, they were the sector that led the market up, and now they're chopping around up here near the highs. Bank of America still holding over this key 14 areas. That's all right. May pull back and fill a little bit. J.P. Morgan was the bank that showed some relative weakness to the other banks yesterday, and you can tell it got smashed back down today. This could be a lower pivot high that we must keep an eye on. So keep an eye on this 54 pivot level right here. If that pivot holds, we're going to come right back down towards 50 and a half, which is about $2 away or so. Goldman Sachs was down 1%. Got to keep an eye on this one. Looks like it's having trouble breaking past a 166 level. May need to back and fill that gap that it had right there from Tuesday, from the announcement of it being added to the Dow Jones. Morgan Stanley made new 52-week highs yesterday, pulled back in a bit today. May get some gap and fill action. Again, look at where the stock's coming from. Right, it's coming all the way from, say, 25 half up here to 28 half or so. Needs to pull back in a bit, maybe get some nice little range action before it tries to make a possible move higher. We'll see how that plays out. And then you have Citigroup, another key bank that we must pay close attention to. This one's not doing much, just pulling back a little bit after gapping up on Tuesday with the other financials that had some nice movement from the Goldman Sachs news, which basically gave a bid in the whole financial sector that day. And now you can see some of them are fading and some of them are trading sideways. What else? The Exxon, the basic material sector got hit today. TSO, some of the refineries got hit. TSO, you can see this stock looks like it wants to go lower. If you've been watching this stock, this thing's been holding above 46. We finally got an official close below 46 today. Little descending triangle action that you can probably see much better on the 60-minute chart. Keep an eye on TSO for some more follow through. I'm actually going to set an alert on this stock right here for breaks down below that level. All right, if you're watching TSO to the downside, of course you want to watch the other refiners such as VLO. And VLO looks like it wants to go back down towards this 34 level and possibly break through 34. It's been trading in a range between 34 and 37. All right, and now looks like it may, look to go below 34. So keep this one on watch as well. Let's see here. Tesla, some of these momentum names, they're still holding their key little moving average here, the 20-day moving average. Keep an eye on Tesla. You can see Tesla came right back down there and rechecked that 20-day moving average and held again. And now it's pretty much been trading in a range between 160 and say this 166 area. Keep an eye on this name. Netflix, another high flyer. All right, Netflix gap down today. Still holding this key short-term moving averages, but as well gap down. This momentum could be out of this name. Keep an eye on it. If it breaks below 296 tomorrow, could have a nice little selling pressure back down towards 290. If the markets were to come in tomorrow and this thing was to break and hold below that 296 area or level. Let's see, another high flyer stock that's been performing pretty well, that's kind of boiling down a bit now. GMCR had a nice little move about 2 weeks ago. Now it's kind of fading back down. Was staying strong while the market was pulling back in a little bit. But as you can see, this thing's not really catching any more momentum. It's kind of just trading sideways to lower now. What else? What are some other names that have been performing pretty well that have been some high flyers? GMCR. HLF has been coming across the radar. This is a stock that you want to watch tomorrow for sure. HLF breaking out over today's highs of 69.5 will be a stock to watch. I'm actually putting an alert on that one right now. Some of the biotechs have been doing pretty well. They've been a little bit weak, but take a look at Amgen. Amgen, it's recovering pretty nicely after making that announcement that it was going to put a bid takeover for ONXX. It gapped up that day, it faded it back down, and now it's back near that closing price from that announcement. Keep an eye on Amgen, looks pretty decent. And again, some of the steel stocks, some of the basic material stocks, they've been trading pretty well. They may need to consolidate and pull back a little bit. US Steel, you can see it's holding above this key 1935 level. And CLF has had a nice run as well. It's pulling back in a bit. Not as strong as US Steel though. But aside from that, folks, again, quiet day in the markets a little bit, you can say. Not much clean action out there. Some high flyers here and there. Today was contract rollover day, so that kind of made the market a little bit shaky on both sides as people are rolling over from the September contract to the December contract. And that's about it, guys. If you guys want to come check out our chat room, check it out. mywallstreettv.com. The password to log in is smart. Again, tomorrow's going to be a big day, so if you're looking for some guidance trading tomorrow, come check us out. We'll have some good ideas and some good levels to watch. Aside from that, have a great day, folks. Catch you guys tomorrow. Cheers.